Okay, I'm mad. Jack Beans and I got into a fight. My buddy Jack Beans, man. Buenos esse. Grace Potter. Go teach Jack Bauer to be a good friend. But tell him thank you. I'm going to talk to you about Jesus a little bit. I always like to start my day with a little bit of Jesus. I know, listen to this. That's Jesus right there, baby. You're like, oh my goodness, is Janis Joplin singing a song? Wait, that's not Janis. No, dude. Grace Potter. Holla. It's a long road, baby. I love Jonathan Fibonojji. I want to drop him some PayPal because he's homeless again, the Caboose. And I thought he was in Colorado Springs, but then his friend said, you gotta leave because my family thinks you're homeless. I'm like, well, I kind of told you I was homeless, nigga. Wait, boom. All right, but I got to talk to you about perspective. I'm going to tell you, thank you, Jack, Shanna. Some of my best friends, but man, you want to hit them in the face. I do. I know, let me sing my song. You know, here I'm back at the Caboose. I never know who's watching this and who even cares, but you know, sometimes you just want to share your story and you want your story to be told. And you know, I do all kinds of random things. Like, for example, look at this, Caboose Motel. That's the flyer, isn't that terrible? But this is the real Caboose. Look at that. This is old school Colorado, dude. You know, I showed up, my buddy kicked me out of his house, and then, you know, I show up and check this out, dude. This is old school. This is old school. Look at this. Look at this. Jonathan, number one. Look at that. You're like, what's going on, dude? Like, well, you know, there was once a day where, like, you know, businesses were run in like an old-fashioned way, and like, you know, I show up and there's a sign on the door that says Jonathan, number one. Says, even made a leaf. Look at that. It said, hey, you know, the guy that stays here that runs the place, you know, he went to bed, but you know, there's a couple people that were coming in late, and you know, he said, hey, you know, look in the mailbox, there's a key for you, and it's all personalized. And you know, I talk about how much I love Durango because, man, it's old school, beautiful Colorado before suburbia messed Colorado up. And man, I was just in Colorado Springs, dude, and it was terrible, dude. I mean, terrible. And I couldn't figure out what I hated about Colorado Springs. I mean, how can you hate a town in Colorado Springs? And I finally realized it's because they don't have any trees there. It's Colorado without trees, and suburbia, and churchianity, and everything that's wrong about America is in Colorado Springs, like military bases. It's very religious. It's Colorado without the trees. And Durango, holla, nigga, dude. I mean, this is old school. You show up, those are my skis. Might try to put a resume into Coleman out here. Say, hey, dude, I'll teach your people. Come on, dude. I'm a great ski instructor. There's no better teacher than me. Need a photographer? Man, there's no better photographer than me. So here you go. The journey continues. So I was thinking, man, how can I bless the day? How can I bless the world today? And what can I do? Do I just rant about all my typical things about how much I love Grace Potter and how much the movies that I like? I talked to you again about homelessness, and I think I'm at month 6 or 7. I need to add it up. You know, I was in Colorado and I was trading, and I didn't have enough really to trade with, but I had enough to learn how to trade with. And God in his faithfulness taught me how to trade. And I was trading, and then had the naivety to think I was just going to go out to San Francisco and just work for a hedge fund because I knew how to trade. And I didn't realize, man, San Francisco, it's a very insulated social structure. So if you don't have, you know, an advanced degree from Stanford or something like that, you don't even get these interviews. I know that sounds naive to somebody from Marin County, but I'm just a guy from Oklahoma. Take away the things I can't replace. Take my heart, go on, take it away. I just think things like that are beautiful. Such a strong voice and beauty, raw and beautiful, and that's what I want this channel to be. Fibonojji! I know. You know, when I was hanging out in Jack Bean's place, Jack Chocolate Chips, one of my best friends and his wife, they're so good. They're so good. You know, somebody once said to me, it's about perspective. And I think it's one reason why I like photography so much. Because the same people that are so beautiful to let me in their home, you know, they're leaving to have their Christmas, and I'm there to have Christmas alone. And they will never know that feeling. They will never know. And then I realized, like, I'm not homeless anymore. I'm living in a home. And it's such a bittersweet, beautiful, and that's what Jack and Shannon, they're just so beautiful. And I'm thinking, and one day I was so sad to not know my kids or to not even be around my children, and how the Caboose Motel is such a beautiful place and almost a place of refuge for me. And I just hope but I want to tell you a story about this picture. Because I was vacationing with my kids in Destin, Florida. I just felt this presence, this thing where I needed to get professional pictures taken of my children. It became like almost an obsession. And I remember I was vacationing with two kids, and I was just me and them and this beach, and let's see what okay, I guess the advantages of not having an editor, but I was in Destin, Florida, and I felt this real strong need to take pictures of my kids. And I wanted to have a photographer, and I wanted to have professional pictures on the beach, and I'm doing a lot of air quotes here, and just so happened that there was a professional photographer just sitting in the lobby with her camera, and I walked up to her in my typical Fibonojji style with two kids on vacay, going through hashtag MRA, because I knew that little did I realize that was going to be my last my last vacation with my children. And this obsession to take pictures, and air quote, God just gave me this photographer, and her work was so amazing, and I don't even know her name, but she took one of my most prized possessions. And I think that's why I love photography. And then when I was in Colorado Springs, the Colorado town without trees, I told my family, I told my friends who letting me stay in their house for 3 weeks, who does that anymore? I said, man, let me take family pictures, because they had family came in, and I was literally like sleeping on the floor and on the couch they were letting me in with their family, but I wasn't a part of their family, and nobody understands how awkward that is. Just imagine if I came and showed up at your next Christmas and just hung out in a room and listened to music. How would you feel in that place? Just imagine if I did that in the next Christmas. I show up in your Manhattan loft, and I show up and I just go sit, and I'm boom, listening to music and Grace Potter, and I'm just like, boom. You're like, that would be the really awkward experience. That experience after living in your truck for 5.5 months and possible pneumonia. You're like, oh shit. This guy must be crazy. I'm like, man, sometimes I hear myself tell these stories. I think that's one reason why I love photography. It tells stories. These are the most beautiful kids in the world. I was in Colorado Springs, the Colorado town without trees. I was just telling my kids, telling my friends. I said, dude, I got a great camera. Let me take some family pictures, man. And see, for them, it was just about another demand. But for me, I was trying to give them, again, they saw it as just something else to do before they left to go to their ski trip. For me, I'm hashtagging Moray. I can barely look at this picture. So just remember, it's about perspective. Maybe it's about empathy. I know. Who is this Fibonojji guy? I don't know. All right. Just the guy that reads the Bible, dude. All right, I'm done. You guys have a good day. Do not disturb. All right, you guys be good.